Hello, I'm Dr. Joe of the drjoe.com. Sleep, all right? Sleep. We're going to be talking about sleep. Sometimes you fall asleep and then somebody wakes you up and you feel jaded. You're not quite sure where you are, what time of the day it is. Do you know why that happens? Do you know why? Do you know anything about sleep cycle? Do you know these various stages of sleep and what actually happens in those stages? Well, it's time for us to get a little bit geeky about sleep, okay? We're going to be talking about sleep physiology, okay? That's what's coming up next, so stick around.
Your journey to better health starts here on this channel, hosted by the straight-talking Dr. Joe. Now for today's topic, please welcome on stage Dr. Joe.
Hello, welcome back. Like I said, we're going to be talking about sleep physiology. We're going to get a little bit geeky about sleep. Let's dive a little bit deep into sleep physiology. And why is this important? Well, it will give us a better understanding of how sleep actually works. And this will actually underscore why we need our sleep. Don't forget that sleep is actually a basic human right, and you'll do everything in your power, knowing this, to protect that right. And we will also know in the course of this presentation at what point in our sleep that abnormal sleep behaviors actually happen. So let's dive straight in. Now, as far as sleep is concerned, there are 5 stages, and they run from stage 1 to stage 5. So if you progress from stage 1 to stage 5, that constitutes one complete sleep cycle. Now, inside this sleep cycle, there are 2 blocks. The first block is actually the non-rapid eye movement sleep block, and that is made up of stages 1 to stage 4 of the sleep cycle. And stage 5 is the second block, that is the rapid eye movement sleep stage. So stages 1 to 4, that is non-rapid eye movement sleep block, and stage 5, which is just one single stage, that is the rapid eye movement sleep stage. So let's talk about what happens in each of these stages. Stage 1 is when we're actually drifting off, and it lasts usually about 5 to 10 minutes. Your eyes move slowly and your muscle activity actually slows down. And if an EEG electrode is attached to your head, there will be, alpha and theta brain activity picked up on the EEG trace. And you could experience a feeling of falling down, followed by a jerky movement. And this phenomenon is actually described as hypnagogic hallucinations. Now, if you're somebody who is very good, who is experienced at meditation, if you drift into deep meditation, you will actually experience all of these activities described in stage 1. So that takes us to stage 2, which lasts usually about 20 minutes. And in stage 2, you tend to experience what we call the sleep spindles. What are sleep spindles? These are rapid rhythmic brain activity that actually goes on, and this will be picked up on the EEG trace as well. In stage 2, your body temperature begins to drop and your heart rate begins to slow down as well. And that will take us to stage 3 of sleep, which is the bridge between light sleep and deep sleep. And in stage 3, your brain will also experience delta waves. These are slow but deep waves. This is the stage at which the delta waves begin to actually develop. And this will take us to stage 4. Now, have you ever been woken up from sleep and then you wake up suddenly and you have no idea where you are, what time of the day it is? It's because you're feeling disorientated. And it's also because you've just been woken up from deep sleep. This deep sleep happens in stage 4. And if you remember, we talked about how the delta waves begin to develop in stage 3 of the sleep cycle. Well, in stage 4, these delta waves actually become really prominent. And this stage of our sleep actually lasts about 30 minutes. And if you're somebody who has issues with abnormal sleep behaviors, what we call parasomnias, things like bedwetting, sleepwalking, talking in your sleep, these events actually happen in stage 4 of our sleep cycle. Now, let's talk about what happens in stage 5. Stage 5 is the rapid eye movement sleep stage. If you remember, we said stages 1 to 4 constitute the non-rapid eye movement sleep block. Well, stage 5 is actually the rapid eye movement sleep stage. And as the name implies, there is significant eye movement. Your heart rate goes up, your breathing rate goes up, and there's a lot of brain activity as well. But in contrast to that, there's also a reduction of voluntary muscular activity. And this is actually protective. It's the reason why if you're having a bad dream, you're not going to leap out of bed, because if you do that, you may hurt yourself. So nature is actually protective here. It's protecting us from harm. Now, as you can tell, with the increase in heart rate, breathing rates, and a lot of brain activity, there's a lot of autonomic nervous system activity. And indeed, as a consequence of this, you may actually experience sexual arousal. It is at this stage we may have really vivid dreams. At this stage, it takes us about 90 minutes to actually arrive at stage 5 of our sleep, which is the rapid eye movement sleep stage. What else in stage 5? The length actually varies. The first REM sleep stage, when we fall asleep, is actually short. That may last just about 10 minutes. But what tends to happen is, as we continue our sleep, subsequent rapid eye movement sleeps tend to last longer. Indeed, the final one may last up to an hour. So, what happens in the sleep cycle? Let's just dive quickly into what happens in the sleep cycle. Like I said, if you progress from stage 1 to stage 5, that constitutes one sleep cycle. But the progression from stages 1 to 5 does not happen in that sequential order. What tends to happen is you move on from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. But instead of moving from stage 4 to stage 5, you actually go back to stage 3 and then stage 2 before you then leap from 2 to stage 5. Once you get to stage 5 and stage 5 is concluded, that is one sleep cycle. But the next sleep cycle, you don't go back to stage 1 because that's the drifting off stage. So there's no point going to stage 1. We'll move from stage 5 to stage 2, and then the cycle repeats itself. And the point here is that you need to incorporate about 4 to 5 sleep cycles per night. And this is the reason we talk about sleeping for about 8 hours every night, because the longer you sleep, the more of these sleep cycles you're going to incorporate into your sleep. We have learnt a lot in this short presentation. One of the take-home messages is that anything that disrupts a smooth progression from stages 1 to 5 will negatively affect our sleep quality. And I'm referring to things like drugs, noise, alcohol, too much light exposure in the room being too cold or too warm, being jet lagged, shift work, nicotine, caffeine. All of these factors can potentially break the sleep cycle. And once the sleep cycle is broken, then we're not going to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed. Now, can we do something about all of these factors? Well, probably, but that's going to be a subject for another video, and I'm going to call it the sleep killers and how you can give them the elbow. So expect that video sometime soon.
Yes, I'll be the first to admit that was a nerdy one. But if you made it this far in this presentation, I can tell you that you know more about sleep than 1 billion other people on this planet. You certainly know more about sleep than your friends. So you got one up over your friends, okay? Now, one more side fact, as if you haven't had enough already. You know when people tell you that they don't dream? Well, in actual fact, they do dream, all right? They just don't remember it. They do dream. As you saw in the presentation, dreams happen in stage 5, where REM sleep actually takes place. So that's where you actually dream. So long as you're having REM sleep, you're going to have some dreams. One of two things has to happen for you to remember your dreams. One is you either wake up in the middle of the dream, or you wake up at the end point of the dream. That's when you remember the dream. Now, if you noticed in that presentation, you have the 5 different stages, stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you wake up in stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, you're not going to remember the dream. So you have to wake up in stage 5, and usually in the middle of the dream or at the end point of the dream, that's when you remember the dream. So they do dream, they just don't remember it. Now, that leads me on to the talk about REM sleep deprivation. If you're REM sleep deprived, well, research has shown that your cognitive abilities would decline over time. And that is a very bad thing. Now, because you're going to be having memory failure as time goes on. And research has also shown that when you are chronically REM sleep deprived, you are at risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Research also showed that if you actually are sleep deprived for just one night, the beta amyloid proteins, what we call beta amyloid proteins in the brain, the level actually goes up. Now, if you are chronically sleep deprived, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have a buildup of these beta amyloid proteins, and over time, these beta amyloid proteins are going to form plaques. And as you know, if you hear the word plaque in the human body, that is not always good news. And so, what will happen is if you are chronically sleep deprived, you're going to end up with a buildup of beta amyloid proteins, and then you form beta amyloid plaques in the brain. And that is one of the things that actually happens in Alzheimer's. So your sleep is very important in the prevention of Alzheimer's. You need to get your REM sleep on board for you to prevent Alzheimer's disease. The overriding point in this whole presentation is that you need your 8-hour sleep a night to protect your health both today and in future. All right? Enough said. Do you have a friend or family member who you think might benefit from this presentation? Please send the link to them, share this video with them, okay? The other thing, if you haven't watched my video on the relationship between alcohol and sleep, the link should be up there now. You see it right up there now. Please, when you finish watching this video, do watch that video as well, all right? If you haven't subscribed to this channel, by the way, please do subscribe, okay? The subscription button is right there at the bottom right corner there. Just hit that button. You only need to subscribe to this channel just once, all right? But you also need to like this video as well, all right? If you think you found value from this video, do like it, just like you're sharing it with a friend and a family. I think that's about it. Yeah, if you got anything to say it in the comment section as well. That's about it in this presentation. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.